Today I'm going to show you how I refinished this set of side tables for my client. She wanted a lighter, more coastal vibe, and she had seen a finish that I had previously done and requested that. First thing I'm going to do is clean the entire piece. If you are not using chemical stripper and you're just sanding to scuff sand before paint, it is always a good idea to go ahead and clean the entire piece. Otherwise, you're going to clog up your sanding pads and go through way more than necessary. All right, so everything is clean and dry. Next step is I'm going to sand all of the flat surfaces with the 120, then 220, and then I'm going to grab one of the Surf Prep Pro foams, and I will show you that before I do that. Okay, so I'm done sanding all the flat surfaces, and now I'm going to use my Surf Prep Pro Foam sanding pad. This one is the 1/2 inch thick, and you can see it's very squishy, and this gets in all those little grooves and nooks and crannies and curves pretty effortlessly. And you may still have to hand sand, but this cuts that down dramatically. So one of my favorite tools in the shop. We got everything sanded. Now I'm going to wipe it down with water and then do some wood putty in all the little holes and scratches. Once the putty is dry, I'm going to go back over all of those areas with a 220 grit sandpaper and sand them smooth. Okay, so I'm going to take the feet off of the side tables. In order to do that and without damaging it, I'm going to lay it on its either side or top to get those legs off. Once the feet were removed, it was much easier to sand, so I grabbed my Surf Prep sander and my Pro Foam sanding pads and went to work. After all that, the next step is to prime the piece. I prefer to use a spray can primer. You can use a brush and paint it on. You can use a paint sprayer. This is just my preferred method. Once the primer is dry, you're going to want to lightly sand it with a higher grit sandpaper, like a 220 or higher, just to knock down any texture or bumps. Make sure you have a very smooth surface. After priming and making sure the surface was buttery smooth, I grabbed my Wagner Flexio 5000 and sprayed on the first coat of paint. It is time to start the faux wood technique. So here are the things that I'm using. I'm going to be taping off sections at a time. That is really the trick to making this look really good and sleek and not messy. The glaze I'm using is Rust-Oleum Chalked H glaze. And then I'm going to also be using a variety of brushes. Some people use brooms. I've just used a variety of brushes. This one's probably the most important. It is a deck brush. So definitely have that on hand if you try this. Okay, so I'm gonna walk y'all through this for this first one. Basically, it's very easy. You're going to brush the glaze in sections, and then you'll run the other brushes across it. So let me just show you. That's basically that. I'm going to continue on. Okay, so like I said, I do this in sections, and this is going to give you your best outcome, the best finish possible. It's not going to look sloppy. It's very easy for the faux wood finish to look sloppy, and we don't want that. We want it to look professional. We want it to look like you walked out of Pottery Barn with it, except this is custom and not something that everybody else has, right? So lighting's not great, but what I'm about to do is this section here and this section here. I'm not going to tape off because I just wipe it off with a wet rag after. Use my brushes. I'm going to start with this one like I always do. And just slide across. Very easy. I'm going to get this big guy, my favorite, and do the same. Alright, and then for any small sections, I think I got this at Walmart. It's a, I think it was labeled as like a chalk paint brush. I don't do chalk paint, but this is coming in handy in those little small detail areas. You can also, if you want to smooth it out a little bit, as far as like the striations, you just go over that with a firmer brush. All right, now I'm going to take that wet rag. Oh, I don't want that. Let me go back over that. There we go. And that's the great thing is if you don't like something, you just go back over it until it dries. There, you do have a few minutes of work time. And I've even, when doing this before, I've even gone back over. I did a glaze, I top coated it, and then I did it again just to get a darker, richer tone, and it looked really good. So you have a lot of options when it comes to working with glaze. And if you don't get all the little things, that's okay, because we're going to be doing the same finish there, and it just gives it more character. Wood is not perfect, right? Wood's not perfect. This doesn't have to be perfect. But we don't want the sloppy. On the top, I do this again, section by section, and this has a corner cut, like a 45-degree angle, so I'm taping that angle off and only doing that section, and then I'll do it again over here, and it's going to connect, and it's going to look really nice. It is very rainy here, but I'm not gonna let that deter me. So this glaze was dry yesterday, but it's got like, because it's so damp, it looks wet. So before I do anything with this, I'm going to put my heat gun safely over it, just to dry it out, because that's the thing with glaze, and this is why you have to top coat it, because moisture will ruin it. So I'm gonna do this very carefully, and the only thing I'll be taping, I guess for now, is like this edge here, and then when I do the legs, those little edges. Well guys, it looks like I forgot to film me finishing the faux wood finish, as well as not filming me spraying on the top coat, but I assure you it does have a top coat. So other than that, here are the finishing touches that I did, and then I'll show you the before and after. All right, as a reminder, here is where we started. And here is the after. I love the light, beachy, coastal vibes it has now, but most importantly, the client loved it. For a list of the products that I used to complete this look, as well as some links and discount codes, please make sure to read the description. Let me know what you think in the comments, what you loved, what you hated, what you would do differently than I did. And as always, please subscribe and like and follow and share and comment and all the things. Thanks for watching.